Joining us now to explain more about GCR affirming Pinnacle Holdings rating is Eyal Shevel. He's the head of corporate rating at GCR. Eyal, thank you so much for joining us. Perhaps before you can explain what the rating is, tell us what the rating is with regard to Pinnacle. Has it stayed the same or changed much?
Yes, GCR has affirmed the long-term rating of Pinnacle at BBB+ and the short-term rating at A2. However, we have placed the rating on Rating Watch pending the outcome of the legal matters that the company is now facing.
Let's go back to the BBB+ as well as the A2 level. What does that mean? Does this mean that it's still an investment for investors to look at, or is it one that comes with concerns?
Yes. No, the rating being affirmed means that when looking at the fundamentals of the business, putting it to one side, the legal issues, but looking at the fundamentals of the business, that we're quite happy with Pinnacle's performance. They've continued to show their growth has slowed, but their growth continues to be strong. They've got a very good market position, and the business itself is performing adequately to well. So and therefore, the rating has been performed in line with our expectations.
But the key issue here is the ratings watch, which you'll allude to regarding the bribery charges as well as the FSB probe.
Yes, so obviously the bribery charge add a lot of uncertainty as to the rating. That is recognized by the Rating Watch. Rating Watch really takes cognizance of a specific event that should be resolved in 3 to 6 months that can impact the rating. That would be the definition of a Rating Watch. So what we say about the Rating Watch is that we don't have any additional insights into the validity or lack thereof of the charges against the director of what will the outcome of the FSB's probe into insider trading. And it certainly could have a negative impact. We have highlighted that in our rating that perhaps even if everything is resolved in Pinnacle's favor, there still could be reputational issues that drag on the company going forward, particularly when it comes to getting government contracts, which are quite important in the IT sector. So there is certainly a potential for negative rating movement depending on how these legal issues resolve themselves.
Reputation as well as ratings, do those two go hand in hand?
Well, certainly having a strong reputation is congruent with having a good rating, let me say, is congruent with having a strong reputation. But the rating impact is more how that reputation will translate into future earnings. To the extent that the reputation has been tarnished and therefore business volumes are likely to be lower, that will be built into probably a negative trend in the credit rating.
With regard to your rating decision to get, perhaps maybe with the reputation as well, will this translate into a negative investor environment?
Well, what we're saying with our rating is that we don't actually know what the outcome of the legal challenges will be.
But if you were a Pinnacle investor, would you want to put your money in that company at the moment? Or would it be time to get out?
Well, I think from an investor's perspective, the share price has been pushed significantly downwards, about half of what it was 2 months ago. So but what we're saying is that, if these issues are resolved, probably, and it turns out that there wasn't much validity to the charges in the first place, well then, I suppose investors getting in now will be a good time to buy the stock.
Well, it does seem as though we've highlighted the worst case scenario issue, but could there be anything that Pinnacle could do to improve its rating?
I think that the rating of Pinnacle is pretty full at the moment. I think BBB, the type of company it is, the size, the industry, BBB is largely at the top of where the rating could be at the moment. What a company would need to do to improve a rating from there is just generally steady long-term growth, which we've highlighted, to just grow the business, maybe expand into Africa. There were some potential acquisitions on the cards, like the DataTech transaction, which are likely to be delayed now. But if those do come to fruition over the next year or 2 or 3 years, then you would likely see some rating movement upwards. But ratings are a long-term outlook, generally a 5-year outlook of a company. They don't move as frequently as, say, an equity analyst's recommendations, buy or sell recommendations.
That's something quite significant that you've mentioned, because you mentioned that we're waiting, the ratings watch lasts for about 3 to 6 months, but at the moment your rating of the company is a 5-year issue. So you'll no doubt be looking very cautiously at what does come to the fore in the next 6 months regarding Pinnacle.
Yeah, for sure. So that's I say, looking at the company fundamentals, we're taking a long-term view. However, we say there is an event underway which in itself, depending on the outcome, could have a significant impact on the rating. And that's what a rating watch signifies, that event itself has could have enough strength or negative to push the rating down depending on what that outcome is.
Have we ever seen similar situations to this before in the South African environment?
I mean, generally ratings are placed on rating watch when there are a transaction perhaps underway, which it may be positive, it may be negative. You know, if it's going to be bought by another company, then a rating agent would place it on rating watch because that specific event would have an impact. But I think offhand, I'm not sure anything in the recent history.